Okay, picture this. A manager sitting at their desk, just typing away furiously. They've just handed off a massive, critical task to an employee, and they are, completely, 100% confident their instructions were flawless. They crossed every T, dotted every I, and sent it off thinking, nailed it. It was literally a masterpiece of delegation. But fast forward a few days, the deadline hits, the deliverable arrives, and the manager looks at it just totally stunned. The employee did the completely wrong thing. Now they're both just staring at each other in the office, super frustrated, wondering how on earth things went so completely off the rails.
Right, so we've all been this manager at some point. They just throw their hands up and go, "But I explained it. I gave you the details, the timeline. It was all right there." See, in their mind, the job of communicating was totally done the exact second they finished talking. They pushed the message out into the world, and boom, responsibility over. They've fallen right into this trap of assuming that just speaking is the exact same thing as actually communicating. But wait, the employee is standing right there, just as frustrated, totally on the defensive. They point back and say, "But that's not what I understood." And just like that, we've got a classic, highly relatable workplace standoff. Two smart people speaking the exact same language on the exact same team, but living in completely different realities. The employee honestly felt they followed the directions perfectly based on how they heard it, and the manager just feels completely let down.
So who communicated badly here? Is it the manager for not being clear enough, or the employee for just not getting it? Well, let's dive into this, because the answer reveals something huge about how we interact. Communication isn't just about talking or writing, it's a shared process. And honestly, bad communication is the root cause of so many unnecessary conflicts and missed opportunities. It totally kills trust. So to fix this standoff for good, we're going to break down 5 key ideas in this explainer.
Okay, idea number 1 is deceptively simple. Communicate to be understood. Sounds incredibly obvious, right? But it gets ignored in almost every organization. Communication only really succeeds when the receiver actually grasps the meaning, not just when the sender stops talking. You can't just throw words into the air and declare victory. You have to genuinely want to be understood. And that means stripping away anything blocking your point, whether that's your own ego, untested assumptions, or just everyday distractions. You are fully responsible for making sure that message lands safely.
And this brilliantly illustrates why replacing academic or technical language with simple terms ensures your message actually lands. Imagine just hitting a customer with this massive wall of technical jargon and confusing acronyms, like you're trying to win corporate buzzword bingo. We do this because we think it makes us sound super smart. But in reality, complete disaster. It just alienates people. Instead, swap out that heavy jargon for clear, direct language that a real person actually understands. Make it as simple as possible. Never just assume people know your acronyms. Honestly, true clarity is the real marker of intelligence.
But hey, communication is a two-way street, right? Which brings us to idea 2. Make an effort to understand. The receiver has a ton of responsibility here too. You can't just passively listen and hope for the best. You've got to actively listen. That means parking your assumptions at the door, ignoring your mental to-do list for a second, and really trying to see things from the other person's side. And this is crucial. When something is vague or confusing, you've got to take the initiative to ask questions right away. Actually, there's a total secret weapon for these exact moments. Next time you get a super ambiguous request, instead of just nodding along and pretending to get it so you don't look foolish, boldly ask, "What would a successful result look like?" Seriously. Swallow your pride. It is so much better to ask for clarification up front than to guess, work for 2 straight weeks on the wrong thing, and end up like our frustrated manager. Asking this forces the sender to actually visualize the outcome and puts you in the driver's seat of making the communication work.
Now, doing this requires some flexibility, which leads to idea 3, adapt to the receiver. We all have totally different natural styles. Some people are super extroverted and process out loud. Others are introverted and really need a minute of quiet reflection. Some want the big visionary picture first, and others just want to dive straight into the spreadsheet data. Because of this, you absolutely have to change your approach based on who is listening. One-size-fits-all scripts just do not work. Hand a visionary thinker a 50-page spreadsheet and you've lost them before you even start.
So the crucial point is how you must pitch the exact same project differently to a developer, an executive, and a customer. 1 message, 3 audiences, 3 approaches. Think about it. For the developer, they want the technical details, the nuts and bolts. But for the executive, you better lead with the high-level overview and the core business value before they check out and start scrolling on their phone. And the customer, skip the internal mechanics entirely and just talk about the value and how it solves their specific problem. You just have to adapt your pitch to the person sitting right across from you.
Moving on to idea 4, and this one is vital. Speak up. People cannot read your mind. Organizations desperately need people to just assert themselves. It's not just a nice to have, it's literally a professional requirement. You can't ever assume your manager or teammates know what you need, what you're secretly thinking, or what you disagree with. If you just sit back and hide your insights because you don't want to rock the boat, well, you're doing your whole team a massive disservice.
Picture this. A silent analyst spots a major project risk deep in the numbers, a glaring, super expensive error, but they stay totally quiet. Why? They assume, well, the senior execs must already know. I shouldn't interrupt. But here's the thing. The executives don't know. It takes real professional courage to raise your hand and actively flag a risk like that. It might not be the most popular message in a crowded room, but having the guts to speak up is exactly what stops a looming failure in its tracks.
And that leads us perfectly into our fifth key idea: use the right channel and style. This is all about matching your communication method to your specific purpose and the emotional context. We have so many tools today: email, chats, video calls, whatever. But choosing the wrong tool, like firing off a highly critical essay in a quick instant message, is basically a guaranteed way to spike tension, make people defensive, and create massive misunderstandings.
Come on, we've all been dragged into one of those digital war zones, right? A long, messy chain of increasingly confusing emails where someone eventually CCs the boss and suddenly everyone is in panic mode. Look, if a topic is sensitive, super complex, or turning into a real disagreement, you need to immediately step away from the keyboard. A complex disagreement should immediately be moved out of written text and into a real-time, constructive conversation. Jump on a quick call or walk over to their desk. It lets you read tone and body language, and you can resolve issues in 3 minutes that would take 3 days over email.
Let's move to and see how this builds by returning right back to our opening story. Remember our super frustrated manager and employee? Let's apply these ideas. Here's the manager again, but this time they are proactively checking for understanding. After giving the instructions, they don't just walk away and hope for the best. They pause and say, let's clarify what success looks like on this task. They're taking full ownership to make sure the message was actually received.
And check out the employee's response now. Instead of just nodding silently, they actively engage. They say, got it. Let me confirm my understanding before I start. They repeat the core expectations back in their own words. Taking just those few extra seconds to clarify entirely resolves that initial friction before it even sparks. No wasted weeks, no ruined deliverables. Just clear, perfectly aligned teamwork.
Okay, so to make this really stick, here's a simple, sequential loop to basically fix workplace miscommunications forever. Step 1, listen. Park your assumptions and really tune in. Step 2, clarify. Stop guessing and ask those bold questions. Step 3, adapt. Shift your style to fit your audience. Step 4, speak up. Don't expect people to read your mind. Flag the risks. And step 5, confirm understanding. Always loop back and make sure the message you sent is exactly the one they received.
So as we wrap up this explainer, remember that communication isn't just about talking. It is a shared, active responsibility to bridge the gap between two minds. You got to do the work to make sure your words actually land. So I want to leave you with this final thought. The next time communication fails, ask, what did they actually understand?